What's good, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Gifted Podcast, man. I'm super excited to have my man back in the building. And I'm gonna tell you right now, look, we had a little mishap in the first run around. But now we here. We here to get it done. And I'm super excited to get this podcast done, man, because we in the same field now. We stepped into something. We stepped into something that's like kind of current, and it's kind of working out for us for real. So first and foremost, man, I just wanted to say thank you for coming on and joining me and my man here. You know, I got Trey out as always.
No, what's up?
You feel me, my man? But I wanted to say thank you for coming on and taking time to, you know what I'm saying, come and talk about your podcast and your situation for real. So
man, I appreciate the opportunity, you feel me?
yeah, you already know. So, and I mean, without any further introduction, man, I got my man E from Code TV, man. Appreciate you. Yeah, appreciate you coming on, man. You already know. Yeah, you already know.
Already.
Hey, yo.
Eazy signing in. Hold up, you already know I got plugged me, bro.
Yeah.
Do you?
Eazy signing in, the stack and the strap will still get you clapped.
Facts.
You already know what it is.
Nah, that's a
hey,
fact.
but tonight, the man behind the camera, in front of the camera.
Yeah, that's a
go.
fact.
Show enough.
And that's another thing too. I definitely wanted to make sure you got in front of the camera. You know what I'm saying? Because you do a lot of work in and out of a lot of communities, a lot of blocks. You go in a lot of different situations.
Yeah.
Obviously, that comes from a certain pedigree of how you carry yourself and how you see you can fit into the nature of the business that we stepping into as far as multimedia.
Sure enough.
And I seen that, you know what I mean? Me and Trey seen that, and we have a personal relationship with you outside of this too. But
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure I really took the time to get just a full understanding of where you got the inspiration to do it. You feel what I'm saying? So for starters, we're not going to get just there first. We want to kind of get the beginning and the origin of where you from and everything like that. And obviously, you know, like I said, Trey here too. He's going to ask you some questions as well. So for starters, introduce, you know what I mean, where you from and kind of, you know what I mean, where you came up at, you know what I mean?
Oh man, well, I'm from Annapolis, Maryland. That's where everything started, right there for real.
Mm-hmm.
Whew. From we can take it to the eSport days, man. Right there, Harbor House. For those of y'all that don't know about Harbor House, eSport Terrace, all one hood, but it's two sections. You feel me? That's I could say I grew up in the world's most drug-infested neighborhood. I just dropped something on YouTube for real, on my Code TV media channel. I kind of was touching on the drugs standpoint and the blog I dropped. I got a Back in the Day series. Let me plug that right now. I got a Back in the Day series coming where I'm hitting y'all with everybody doing back in the day shit. You feel what I'm saying? We can bring that back in the day shit back to life.
Statute of limitations is up. You know what I'm saying?
But to stay on topic though, to bring it back though, growing up in eSport, man, different world, Brody. I could say that shaped and molded me to become the person I am today. The situations that I had to endure through there, you feel what I'm saying?
So, and I ain't mean to cut you off, but when you born in like the mid 80s, early 80s? 85. So mid 80s. So you came as a youngster, you
Grew
was
up in the 90s.
ushered right into what is known as like the crack era across the
Yeah.
nation, like which is like 87, 88.
Yeah.
You're an infant coming up in that, and then in your childhood, you kind of get the after effect in your childhood of that immediate crack era. So talk about kind of, you know what I mean, what did you grow up and walk around Eastport as a youngster, or did you move around in Annapolis, or?
I'm gonna put you in the code mode real quick, my boy. I was 4 or 5 years old. I can remember a situation. I woke up in the middle of the night. It's like 3, 4 in the morning, Brody. Shit, I woke up in the middle of the night. You know, I leave out the room. I'm looking. Ain't nobody in the crib. You feel me? Ain't nobody in the crib. I go knocking on doors where I know, you know, my mother friends and things be at. Ain't nobody answering the door. Ain't nobody answering the door. It's 3, 4 in the morning, Brody. I'm out here in Batman drawers. You feel what I'm saying? I'm a kid. You feel me? My grandmother, she lived, I told you I was two sides. I lived over Eastport. My grandmother lived over Harbor House.
Right.
So I gets over there, I runs to her crib. You feel me? I must have knocked on, I remember knocking on 3 or 4 doors. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Give her over to Graham's crib. I knock on the door. She let me in. My uncle in there. You feel what I'm saying? She in there. So by me saying that, that's how I grew up, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying? My mother, she was out running around. You feel what I'm saying?
No, for sure.
I ain't understand what was going on at that point. You feel what I'm saying? But that's how I grew up right there.
And geographically, just so people understand, like you taking that run or you going door to door, you're not even going within 5 minutes of an area. You know what I'm saying? You running from Eastport where you at to Harbor House is about a 5 minute at maximum walk, let alone you running over there to do what you got to do. So you being, how old you were saying at the time?
I was 4 or 5 years old.
4 or 5 years old. You remembering that vividly?
I remember that vividly.
How do you think that kind of shaped the rest of your childhood going into being in elementary school and even being in the neighborhood around and kids that was around you?
Well, me knowing now, the kids that I grew up with, they was in the same situation for real.
Mm-hmm.
Like I tend to tell people that, like I say, like I grew up with a certain class of kids, like we was shaped and molded from different from what I see going on now, for real. You feel what I'm saying? When I say that, like I tell people at times, like I really grew up around like people that was killers. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like I could remember people I grew up 4 or 5 years old. You feel what I'm saying? Like they done did their time, they came home now and all types of shit. So we good. You feel what I'm saying? But like them the type of kids that I grew up around. You feel what I'm saying? Kids turn out to be hustlers. You feel what I'm saying? Most of them the type of breed of kids I was around. You feel what I'm saying?
Because everybody had to fend for themselves for the most part.
Yeah, sure enough.
Their own way.
Sure enough. But what I'm saying is, everything wasn't all bad.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? Like I said, my grandmother, she lived in Harbor House. Excuse me. She lived in Harbor House. You feel what I'm saying? A grandmother's love is different, man. Like, a grandmother's love is different, man. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I'm my grandmother's favorite. My Gram's favorite. You feel what I'm saying? She got like 8, 9 grandkids. You feel what I'm saying? But I'm Gram's favorite, so it's different, bro.
I mean, did it feel? I mean, at that time, I mean, thinking back on it now, do you think that was like the thing you needed most at that time? Because, you know, like you were saying, your mom was doing what she was doing, and I didn't really hear you talk about your father at this point. So do you think at that point, that's like the love that you like kind of, you grew to know? That's the only love that you grew to know at that time?
Definitely. Pops was around, but he wasn't around. You feel me?
Yeah.
I always knew who Pops was. You feel what I'm saying?
One and the same.
I can say that.
Yeah.
I knew who he was from day one. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Just wasn't there, though. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Sure enough.
No, for sure.
But had a stepfather in my life, too, all at the same time.
Okay.
You feel me?
I can relate to that for sure.
But to backpedal a little bit, I slept in the bed with my grandmother and mother for years.
Mm-hmm.
As a kid, you feel me? As a kid, sure enough.
Mom's boy and grandmom's favorite.
Yeah, sure enough. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't feel that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Everybody used to call me a mama's boy. I didn't never give a damn. I never cared. But so you in Eastport at this time, man, and you going through these things, man. How are you navigating through school, and how are you socially advancing through what you're going through? Are you kind of like taking the mold of what's going on around you, or did you ever get a glimpse of trying to do something different, or how are you navigating as a child through this point trying to get to middle school? Because I'm gonna gravitate towards
I came up. I was into wrestling early.
Mm-hmm.
From wrestling, it went to sports.
Like now we talking WWF.
WWF Hulk Hogan,
Right.
Ultimate Warrior.
I can attest to this because when I met him, he was still into wrestling.
You feel?
Right.
We used to have wrestling matches, talking about unsanctioned wrestling matches, getting suplex, rock bottom, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Nah.
But that was a time in the era, though.
I was
as
still a
kids
kid.
had some.
You
You had your own name
doing all this. I was still a kid.
Absolutely. What
You don't remember the cry, baby?
I mean,
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yep.
yeah.
One of his famous moves.
around what time? Around what time did y'all meet around this time, or like
No,
what,
it was after the time period you talked about.
a little? All right, so
Yeah,
we'll get to that in a little bit then. So you came into the wrestling a little bit, and you kind of get into sports at the same time.
Yeah.
So are you more so idolizing the sports people and trying to gear towards that, or are you just navigating to the environment?
Yeah, as when I got into sports, I actually turned to start playing sports. Emmitt Smith was my favorite player. First player that I ever loved. To this day, he's still my favorite player. You feel what I'm saying? Emmitt Smith. You know, I wanted that 22 when I first went out there. I couldn't get that 22. I got that Barry Sanders, though. I got that 20. Yeah, I was turned up, though. That turned me out, though, and to liking sports even more. You feel me? That turned me up even more. Yeah, sure enough.
No, that's what's up, and that's what's up. You was at this time. Was you playing with? You was playing with Powell or Crusaders, all
Shady
stuff.
side.
Oh, you was down
I
Shady
was
side.
on the
for
shady
sure.
side. And how I even got into playing sports, my stepfather took me to my godfather, and my godbrother, he was coaching him. You feel what I'm saying? 75B. I went to the what they call it for the scrimmages for the season starting shit. So I get there, you feel what I'm saying? I'm saying, you know, I'm watching the game and shit. Like, well, you want to play? I'm like, yeah, you feel me? I want to play. You feel me? He like, man, come to practice Monday. You feel me?
Right.
I get out there, you know, I want to be running back. I
Right.
tell him straight, I want to be running back. You feel me? And that's how I planned out. I was a 2-back. You feel me?
Right.
Yeah, sure enough, I was definitely the 2-back. Yeah.
No, that's what's
Turned
up.
up.
Found a little bit of light and some
Yeah.
some
And I used to
liking.
love it because I was going to school in Annapolis and I had to play them. So
Uh-huh.
I used to love it. And we was beating
Talking
on it.
trash.
Right.
Yeah, sure enough. I was loving it. With the
that's-
Jersey school and all that.
Mhm.
Yeah, sure enough.
Nah, that's what it is, man. So you at this point you playing with Shady Side. You still living down Eastport when you playing with them? Or did you move at any point during this time?
Yeah, at this moment I had moved.
What did you?
From Port, I went to Burnside Street, which is Burnside Street is when you going towards downtown.
Yeah.
It's right behind the Mercedes Benz. You feel what I'm saying? The Mercedes Benz dealership. You feel me? That's Burnside Street. And from there, I went to Forest Hills.
Mhm.
And from there, that's when I met my man. Rest in peace, long live Traded Kid, man. That's when I met my dog, sure enough. I was about 8, 9, 10 years old when I met Shorty.
Yeah, definitely rest in peace,
Yeah,
Shady
sure,
Kid,
yeah,
man,
rest in
for
peace.
sure. Man, so you young in the game at this point. You kind of know what's going on as far as like your environment is concerned, but you also
I don't know what's going on.
but you don't know what's going
Don't know
on.
what's, and let me backpedal too, bro. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay.
Let me take you back in the cold mode real quick. You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
I'm over Port at this time, over Hub House. You feel what I'm saying? I remember something green on the table. I told you my uncle lived with my grandma.
Right. Exactly.
I get the fucking with some shit, fuck with this shit. You know what I mean? I don't know what the fuck I'm touching. I don't know if I done lost this shit, whatever. Man, nigga come back look for shit. He don't see it. I learned my lesson that day. This is why you never touch shit that you don't supposed to. Shit that ain't yours, don't touch it. That's what he installed in me from right here to this day, bro. Nigga took a butter knife, the end of a butter knife, put it on my mouth. Put your hands out, nigga.
Mm-hmm.
Put that bitch up. Bop, bop, bop.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ever touch shit that you ain't supposed to touch. You feel what I'm saying? And I still remember that shit to this day, bro. Sure enough.
No, absolutely. No, but and as you said, you didn't know what you was even doing at the
Rest
time.
in peace, Uncle Butch, man. Sure enough, my favorite uncle, sure enough. Yeah, hell yeah.
Learned that lesson, huh?
So some tough love early.
Yeah, early. Yeah. Favorite uncle.
Okay. So safe to say at this point, like I mean, you had a quite an eventful childhood.
Yeah, definitely, you can say that.
Quite eventful.
Yeah.
You know
what I'm saying?
a lot of that can lay the groundwork for, like I said in the beginning, we want to get the groundwork. That can lay the register for the rest of everything else. So I just wanted to kind of get that a little bit, just to kind of lay the foreground. So now you're getting a little older, middle school area. early high school, not early high school, but like middle school area, did you have a sense of what you wanted to do and what you wanted to be at this point?
Shit, at this point, I want to be in the league.
You want to be in the
I
league.
want to play football.
You want to play straight
Yeah,
football.
I wanna play football.
You was locked in on it. What school was you going to at that point?
I was going to Annapolis Middle at this time.
Annapolis Middle.
Yeah.
You and there were a lot of people at Annapolis Middle at this time,
Mm-hmm.
and you felt like you wanted to go to the league. So, I mean, what was kind of like the lifestyle at that point? How was you carrying it then? Did you navigate around a little bit? Did you kind of tap in with the street a little bit? Did you kind of
No, at
just
this
stay
point, I was like I
straightforward?
said, I was still a kid at this point, bro.
Right.
At this point, I'm outside playing throw up tackle.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? We still riding bikes. We going neighborhood, and I'm everywhere but the neighborhood I live in. You feel what I'm saying? We all everywhere.
Right. No, that's
You know what I'm saying? Showing up. Yeah. At this point, I'm still a kid. I still don't know what's going on around me. You feel what I'm saying? Everything going on around me, but I don't realize it at this time.
right.
You feel?
Everything is definitely going on.
Everything
It's
going on.
been going on
Yep.
around you
Around
at this
that time
time.
for sure, it's jumping off.
Yeah.
Man,
Showing up.
so around this time, who were some of your sports heroes? Because predominantly, obviously, this is a sports show, and we can definitely talk about that for hours and
Smith.
hours. So you had Emmitt Smith, obviously.
Jordan. For those who that really know me, cuz shout out KB, he already know Stephon Marbury, Nick Van Exel, niggas like that. I was a point guard for that. You feel me? I love niggas that handle the rock. Sure enough.
So Nick Van Exel, Steph Mar, Emmitt Smith,
Tim Hard with the killer
Tim
crossover.
Hard.
You know, everybody was doing the killer
Yeah,
crossover. Right?
trying to anyway.
Yeah,
Trying to anyway. No, that's what it is. No, I mean, for sure. I mean, and those are the guys you tried to emulate yourself after when you was playing, and that's what.
You know, yeah. Sure enough.
Nah, that's what it is. That's what it is.
Thunder Dan doing it. We had the court on the Outback. You know what I mean? Doing it. We used to have little dunk contests, doing the dunks like like the players do. You
Come
feel
on,
what I'm saying?
man,
The
yeah.
All-Star game, shit like that.
Right, definitely. We was all doing that. And, when we came over there and I was fucking with him, lower that rim, and we would just do whatever. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So, I mean, coming up in that environment, man, and coming out of Port, Eastport formerly, but coming out of Port, man, and being able to navigate through that and still be able to live the basic childhood is a blessing in itself, whether you're looking at it from that point or now, like in retrospect. Knowing what I know, my father living there predominantly for a lot of his life, so me being in and out of there, I can fully attest to knowing how humbling Eastport could be at certain points. You know what I'm saying? So
I got a question. What would you say your favorite moment being a kid in Eastport? Like a number one memory, like your first scar, like fell off your bike, or like something like that just stood out. Like
Oh
You
man,
think back
we used
on
to
it,
be
it-
on some shit like Terrace versus Harbor House. And it was ill because
my
no,
God.
Brody, for real, like niggas will beat you down.
you have to explain
feel
it.
me?
You have to explain
See,
it to him.
See, that's what I'm saying, bro. At this time, Harbor House still had the doors that you had to get buzzed in. Well, let me say, my grandmother door was still the only one in the neighborhood, 1006, that was still doing it. So everybody used to knock on her door at the bottom because it's the only one bottom floor door. So they used to knock on her joint to get buzzed in the building to get in when it got locked. You feel me? So, like I said, from over the Terrace, I'm living at Terrace. I catch the bus to my grandmother's house to, you know what I mean, from over there, over Harbor House side. I get off at the first parking lot, mind you though. I gotta get to 1006. So these Harbor House niggas is just talking trash the whole time we on the bus. You feel what I'm saying?
This is not a long ride. Pause.
Right.
It's not a long bus ride.
Get there. I'm running to the crib down there. Ain't no damn there. I am running to the crib.
Man, yeah. Niggas want you back.
Like I told you, the door you
Gotta
have to
get buzzed in, so you gotta wait.
You know a nigga took a couple lumps and couple times. You know what I mean? Shit like that though. But it's all kid, all fun shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Terrace versus Harbor House. You
Yeah.
feel me? That was all
Bro, I'm
fun,
telling
feel
you,
me?
this is like from here to right downtown. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is not no far distance for real. And niggas, Like you said, niggas is chasing you off the bus
Yeah.
to your crib,
Yeah, showed up.
getting theirs,
But
dipping
see,
off.
But see, that's them neighborhood rivalries that like build character on you though. But then like you grow up and then all y'all be cool and sit back and laugh about shit like that. Like,
True
yo,
Sometimes.
sometimes, but that's also how niggas get to know you ain't no punk, you ain't a bitch. You know which niggas is gonna
niggas
fight,
established
which
that.
niggas to kind of stay away from. Like, oh, nah, he's scared. I ain't gonna mess with him. I heard you talk about football. When did you start playing basketball?
Around those
When
same
did the love
time.
for that become around? Same time?
Around those same times. Yeah, but all around in the same mix. Definitely, yeah.
Because I know you, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I used to try to hoop a little bit, you know what I'm saying? I know you, you know what I mean?
No, I know. I'm definitely. I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to it because I found out a little bit later how much he really loved basketball for real. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna get to that. But so middle school, right? So school at this point. Are you locked in on that? You think about college at all? Or how are you navigating? Man, I'm sure before we get to high school, before you start turning into a grown
I'm
man.
average grade getting, kind of. I would say struggling in a little bit of shit, but you know, still getting by for real.
Are you
feel
getting
what I'm
pressed
saying?
at home to do better? Is
Definitely,
anybody at home
definitely.
pushing
Mom
you to?
Dukes, definitely.
Putting that foot
definitely.
on, putting that
Yeah,
foot on
at
your
that
neck to
point,
try to get that done.
But I was always, you know, at this time growing up in the school, it was crazy though. You feel me? Like the kid, as being a kid, they always wanted to make you had to be hard or you feel what I'm saying? Act this certain type of way or goofy shit. You feel what I'm saying? I fell a victim of that early. You feel what I'm saying? And just I was smart. You feel what I'm saying? But I wouldn't do the work. You feel me? Knew what the fuck going on. You feel what I'm saying? Wouldn't do the work. Shit like that.
Nah, I mean anybody can relate to it. I can. I wasn't doing none of that shit. Going to sleep and all that, but that's another story for another day.
Hey,
Nah, man, and the reason why I asked that is just to see how you started approaching the maturation phase of when you start to become, you picking out what you want to do, how you going to live, and what you're ready to step into. So now you're going to be in the high school and being a grown man, stepping into being a grown man. How did you approach that point in life, and do you remember any pivotal point that made you say I'm gonna go this direction or go that direction during that point early in high school before you started to be, you know what I mean, a senior and all of that?
I mean, shit. 14 years old, my mom passed. You feel what I'm saying?
Rest in peace.
That like kind of crushed me and kind of, I could say I went in the show for, you feel what I'm saying? Like, I can see now looking back how my family was trying to push me, you feel what I'm saying, to show me, you feel what I'm saying? You got to get past it in this world, you feel me? But at that time, I wasn't trying to hear nothing. I ain't really care.
At 14, it's
You
delicate.
feel what I'm saying? Like,
That's a
I was
delicate.
looking for love, you feel me? But
Yeah, exactly.
I was in a shell, bro. Out my body, out my mind. For years. Sure enough.
I mean, because you go from sleeping in the bed with moms and grandmom and you being a mom's boy and having an affinity for your mother, you know what I'm saying? And knowing what y'all been through together. So to be shelled and to be kind of just shut off is kind of just a natural thing.
right, and then at
At
that
that,
age,
especially
right.
at that point before we get into now, when people talking about expressions and talking it out and all of that stuff. At that time, you had, like you said, you had to be hard.
Yeah.
You didn't know how to express your feelings. So to be shelled at that point, man, and all of that, I can only imagine. You know what I'm saying? Because I dealt with it as a grown person losing a parent as well. So it had to be something shocking for you. You know what I'm saying? So what direction did you go from there? Do you remember, or was it kind of like a blank space?
In school-wise, I really just started not doing nothing. You feel what I'm saying? But yeah, I was doing nothing. Like I started acting out more. You feel what I'm saying? Outside of school, I definitely was acting out more. At this point, I ain't want to play sports no more. None of that. Like my love and passion for that was done, gone. Yeah. Sure enough.
I'm sorry to hear that too, bro. But
Was that around the time when you moved out road or when
Yeah.
around that time?
This was all around that time. Yep.
Alright.
That's the reason why. You feel what I'm saying? I was, and what's crazy is to backpedal on that. Like I say, My mother, she had diabetes since she was 12. You feel what I'm saying? I'm like a miracle baby for real, Brody. Like, she tried to have kids before me, but couldn't have them, miscarriages. Tried to have kids after me, miscarriages. You feel what I'm saying? I can't tell you the exact, you know what I'm saying, the complications behind why she, you feel what I'm saying? Because I don't know, you feel me? But I'm like a miracle baby all at the same time.
Damn. That's just so wild. I never knew none of that, bro.
Yeah.
So to hear that and just to see the evolution, it makes it so much more wild to me. But I'm gonna get there because you're gonna get all these praises in a minute. So 14, 15, like Trey said, you come up the road a little to Pasadena, where KP is at. How was that transition for you?
It was cool because, and it was easy because I was always, like I told you, KP was always on the road. I was always at KP crib. You feel what I'm saying? KP, they always had everything coming up. You feel what I'm saying? So,
all the games.
You feel what I'm saying? So you know
Right.
a kid's a kid. You
Right.
feel what I'm
You
saying?
wanna
I
hang
want to
out
be there
with
with
it.
all the
Right.
game systems that I can do whatever I want. We up all night. My aunt, she was working different jobs. You feel what I'm saying? I can remember my aunt and them, they had different houses. I remember she had a house over Savannah Park. You basically had another house downstairs. The basement had a kitchen, bathroom. It was another whole living area, 2-3 bedrooms, just downstairs. You feel what I'm saying? The middle level was big, living room, kitchen. You feel what I'm saying? Upstairs, 5 bedrooms, shit like that. You feel me? Like, that's how they was living. You feel me? So, you know, as my mother, like I said, that's why I was telling you how my mother was sick and things, and when she passed away when I was 14. You feel what I'm saying? That's how the transition was so easy for me to go with them. You feel me? Because they already prepared me.
Yeah, space.
You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
They already prepared me a year before this. You feel what I'm saying? Like, at this time, like I said, I was getting in trouble in school already. I was in learning center. You feel me? So they transferred me from Annapolis. I was living in Pasadena with them, but going to school, you feel me, at learning center.
Down center,
You
yeah.
feel me? Then I transferred from there to Chesapeake Middle and
Mhm.
then Chesapeake High School and all that. That's how they came into play and shit like that. Yeah, sure enough.
Then do you even how did you appreciate it then, and looking back on it now, how do you look at it now? Do you think it was like the best thing at that time for
Yeah,
you?
because I feel as though they talked about it and they planned it. They knew what was coming. You feel what I'm saying? My mother was she was going dialysis. You feel what I'm saying?
That's what she wanted, basically.
Yeah, that's what she wanted. That's what they wanted. She already knew that I was already took a kin and loved my aunt and my uncle. You feel what I'm saying? So it was nothing to, you feel what I'm saying? How you feel about going up there to stay with them? You know, yeah, I was already getting in trouble down the road. I'm getting put out every school.
Right.
You can go down here. It's only a couple schools down here. Sent me up the road. You feel?
Right.
So the transition was easy, and I was already loved to be there. You feel what I'm saying? It came to a point when I was up there. It came to a point I ain't want to go back down the road. When on the weekend it's time to go down the road, I'm like, nah, I ain't even going down the road.
Staying
This weekend
up
I'm
top.
staying up the road.
Staying
You feel?
up,
It
yeah.
started. You feel what I'm saying?
No, for sure.
Yeah.
No, for sure. Because like I know y'all met around this time.
Yeah, no, we like you said, we used to do everything. Like you were just talking about, like everything you were saying at KP House. Sports.
Because I was gonna ask you,
video
what was
games.
what was your earliest memories and your earliest memories and some of your earlier stories of meeting Eric and stuff like that? Because I know you was around KP first. He was coming around, but when he came into the picture, I know y'all got countless stories. You know what I'm saying? So how was your first impression of him, and what was your earliest memory of him?
The
You know what I'm
first
saying?
time I probably ever met Eric probably was like going to the hoop or something like that. I don't know certain or something like that probably. But then like me personally, my first impression, he was always the jokester though. Like I ain't even gonna hold you. Like this nigga was always the jokester. Bro.
Always.
You know what I'm saying? So like it was like never a dull moment with this guy around, bro. Like it was always something, bro. Like it was always something, bro.
Get up, bro. What type of experience is it when you get up there? What was some of the experiences that you went through in kind of navigating in a new situation? Yeah, obviously, and me speaking from personal experience and me being in Pasadena at this time for about. Because what year did you go? What year did you go up to Pasadena?
99.
I had been in Pasadena at this point for about 6 years. No, about 4 years. All I seen was the driven snow.
Yeah, I think I've been in Pasadena for about a year or two at that time.
Yeah, so I mean, and I remember, I mean, doing my research after the fact, Pasadena as a whole at that time was 96% white. So, how did you kind of navigate in that time? What were some experiences that you went through at that time?
Because it definitely was a culture shock. Definitely,
Yeah.
I know it was. Because it was for me coming from Baltimore City.
Yeah.
I definitely
Yeah.
know it was a culture shock coming from Annapolis.
It was a culture shock, definitely. It was. I've been always. I ain't hard to get along with. I ain't never been a guy hard to get along with. I ain't never cared about skin color, bro. None of that. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Like even when I was around, predominantly in my environment. You know what I mean? And the few little white, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Caucasian gentlemen that was in my environment, I'd be cool with
Right,
them.
right.
You feel what I'm saying? So I was never. It wasn't nothing to me. You know what I mean? It wasn't really nothing new. But I did start to see how things was different around that side, how things work on this side of town.
But you navigate that.
Because we all went to the peak, and we know what type of stuff we start to see waving in the air when you get closer down to them school parts.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Learn how to navigate.
It was horses right before the school.
Yeah,
That's what was.
the school is next to a farm.
Right before the school.
Next to it, donkey farm.
Yeah, so up.
On the same road when you pulling up. You know what I'm saying? Horse farms
It's
across
kind
the
of weird
street.
because it's a church graveyard school horse.
Right? Yeah, it's like, come on, man. What type of shit is this?
On a dead end.
Oh, for sure, man. So, you stepping into your own, man, and you navigating this maturation process. So, just kind of talk about how what you molded into going into graduating through high school.
My folks always was trying to get me to play sports.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I was saying that I lost the interest. It ain't really, and when I was in high school, I was more on so really not doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? I ended up getting put out my aunt them crib, you know what I'm saying? But when I was like 17 or something like that, you know what I'm saying? So
That's from
I
right.
had already, I was like I said, I was acting out. You feel what I'm saying? Like it came to a point where they couldn't control me. They couldn't do nothing with me.
Let's back up before that part, before getting kicked out of KP and them crib.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean,
No, I'm gonna ask you something. So, like, when we was coming up, we all used to be hanging around and all that. It used to be crazy because we was just talking about it earlier, and I know you big on it too. We just kind of speaking on this, like, the music and stuff that we came up on. That was one other thing that I knew you was always big on too. Because we was always into the mixtapes and G Unit, Dipset, and like D Block and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You was one of the people that I was like knew that was gonna put me on to something hot or like what was going on. Always tapped in. You know what I mean? So like, where'd your love for like that come from?
Early from shit. Master P, I can remember my peoples, my mother they had this thing where it was like 7 CDs for something crazy. I don't know, it was on like some credit. We used to mail them. So I used to look at a pamphlet. They used to have all different types of flavors. I remember getting Warren G, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, The Chronic, Snoop Dogg, Doggy Style, Tupac CDs, Lady of Rage. I don't know, I was on everything, bro. Master P, you couldn't tell me I wasn't a No Limit Soldier with my chain on from the mall. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? So that's where my love really came for them. Back then, I could say listening to music really changed me too. I could definitely say, I used to think that shit was real. You see what I'm saying? In my mind, I used to think that shit was real, bro. Mm-hmm. So I started living what these rappers is saying. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I ain't noticed it till you feel what I'm saying? Till I got older and started to realize, but hip hop music had a serious influence on me because what they were saying, I'm thinking that's what you gotta do to be this real nigga. You feel what I'm saying? Looking like a fucking clown all at the same time. You feel what I'm saying? When you look back at it,
Right,
man,
like, damn,
you looking like
I
a
was-
fucking clown. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
You live and you learn. You feel what I'm saying? So they living like that, the influence of hip hop, I was into gangster rap, got me into situations that I wasn't even prepared for at the time. Sure enough.
It's so crazy that you even say that because, I mean, talking about that time and that specific time, that's when I met you and got around you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And all the interactions that I was able to be around you for real. For one, like you said, you was definitely into sports. We always was in the video games. We was talking shit about the games.
Oh, video games that's a whole nother.
And as
that could be a
far as
whole nother
trash talk,
conversation.
as far as
I
trash
was the
talk,
king, wasn't I, bro?
can't nobody
Hey,
talk.
King. They used
Can't
to
nobody
battle about
Can't nobody
You
talk
heard?
about like
You
trash
talk
talk without bringing you up during that time. The trash talk, the game, everything, all that shit was just, you know what I mean? All of that
Tell them
whole
what it is,
time.
Hey, listen,
Everyone,
listen.
bro.
They him, KP, my cousins, and the reason why I got my game sharp. You know what I'm saying? He seen me grow up from a hot-headed kid. I was always trying to fight something, get mad. You know what I'm saying? Always.
Sure enough, man.
I think
my
he
man.
good
Shout
for
out my man Gus, man. Sure
Yeah,
enough.
absolutely.
I got salute Brody. That's my man. Sure
for
enough.
sure. He was in there early,
Mhm.
at a very early age, doing it all. Balls. Like, it was just crazy time. But like you said, the affinity for sports was there. And one other thing, like I said, like I just noticed at the time, and I didn't even really know you like that at the time, but you was just quiet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I already know what comes with that. When you be around certain people and you're around certain situations, like we all get it in. Talk about fighting, we'll put the hands on you and all of that, but it's just one person that's really not saying too much of anything. Ain't nobody bothering them either. Nobody's bothering him, nobody's saying nothing to him. He ain't even bothering you. All it is jokes and laughing. Like if we played it, when we play this video now, when I say this, if y'all go back and play it again, you'll hear the little subtle laugh in the back, like you'll just hear that the whole time. But nobody really just played around, you know what I'm saying, with him and just seen what, and I noticed that. So I'm like, yo, you know, he might be on some shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just go ahead and just leave him alone. But he never fucked with me. He was always lasting all the time. But so you
But he said he never got back into the love of sports for playing. But the man always had a mind for sports, though.
Oh yeah, that was that
the
never
man
left.
knowledge of whatever sport you talking about was up there. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it's
sure
crazy. Like,
Sure
we used to
enough.
play games, fantasy drafts.
That
You
used to
couldn't
be
tell
a
me
thing.
about.
That used to be a thing for us, bro. They used to be like bragging points.
Yeah.
And we could tell you about everything about the player, what high
Yeah.
school and college
College
they
and
went
shit,
to,
yeah.
as they got to the league. You feel me?
Yeah,
You feel me? We used to talk
absolutely.
that shit with
Yup.
that, you feel me?
Like he
You
was
don't know more than
saying,
me.
like he
Right.
was saying, we doing the fantasy drafts and shit. Niggas is in the 6th and 7th round, still picking players, knowing, like, all right, yeah, I know he gonna knock that, you know what I mean, that little mid range down and stuff like, man, that shit used to be crazy, bro. Crazy as
This
times.
guy right here,
Uh-huh.
Tucky Wildcat guy, right?
Yeah,
So this
absolutely.
This guy right here put me on to Walter McCarty,
Ex-
guys like that.
exactly,
You know what I'm saying?
yo.
Like, guys like
Ron Mercer.
you know what I mean?
85 3.
Ron Mercer.
Yo,
Ron Mercer. Yeah.
Shit like that, yo. Walter McCarty was in
Twan
He Got
Walker.
Walter McCarty was in He Got Game.
Yeah.
People ain't understand why, but I bet they do now. You know what I'm saying? But shit like that is crazy.
Yeah.
But nah, man, just I mean, you navigating that. Like I said, I know, and you was quiet at that time, and like you said, you was going through a different situation on your own terms, exploring some other shit. So,
Yeah.
how bad did it get to in your terms to where as though you felt like you had to put a stop to it? At what point was that? Because I know you 17, 18 at that time. At what point? What was it that made you stop that you can speak of, or what was it that you was going through at that time, if you could explain?
Shit, I'm just stopping.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just stopping. bro.
When, because the reason why I say that, the only reason why,
wide open ever since then. I was
no,
wide open
absolutely,
since
no,
You know what I'm
absolutely.
saying?
And I want to give you a story too, and this is another story too, because I don't want to take up too much of the talking, but this is one story in particular that I had to tell you, because I don't know if you ever remember this, right? So I went to Long Reach my senior year, and I hadn't seen you, I'm talking about, in like a long time, like like a minute. You feel what I'm saying? Like before this point. And I knew you had gotten some trouble. Don't know. I can't say right now what happened, but you was in some trouble. So you couldn't really come around at this point. But all of a sudden at my county championship game, I look out there and y'all niggas are sitting like 2 rows back. It's like KP, Big Keith, and then I look at some nigga in a black hoodie, black Scully on, and he, you know what I mean, and that same snicker, that same laugh, that same grin, you feel what I'm saying? And I never will ever forget that shit, bro, because that's like one of the best games I ever played in my life. The county chip out here was like one of the best joints. I'm like, yo, this nigga is like a really good luck charm or something, you know what I'm saying? So, but I always wanted to tell you that too. I don't know if you remember coming to that game, because like I swear.
I used to live for that shit, bro, with y'all. You feel what I'm
So
saying?
before that?
I used to love seeing y'all do that shit. Like I said,
Exactly.
I lost the passion for it.
Exactly.
But I knew how much y'all love the game. You feel what I'm saying? And I knew y'all had the potential to go where y'all needed to go. You feel what I'm saying?
No, but this is the craziest thing about it. Like I said, that's understandable knowing who your peoples is, who your cousin is, because all his games are just crazy.
Yeah.
For me, it was different. Because like I said, I met you through KP and through him coming through him and his cousin house playing the game and all that shit
sure,
and knowing what you was on. So for you to, first of all, I'm going to just say it. The nigga was on the run. To be on the run and come to my game, I felt like, oh, this nigga fucks with me for sure.
Hey, yo, man.
All the way. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know if he was on the run or if he wasn't. But it's like I said, I didn't see him before that, and I damn sure didn't see him after that for mad long. You feel what I'm saying?
And bro, and sorry to cut you off real
Yeah.
quick. This ain't to glorify nothing and all that. You feel what I'm saying? But you live and you learn. That goes back to when I say you live and you learn. You feel what I'm saying? Like I had to go through certain things to become who I am today. You feel what I'm saying? To realize I was wrong for things that I was doing. You feel what I'm saying? Sure enough.
Yeah, I can totally.
It ain't like I say, I ain't glorifying this because I took my L's along the way too. You feel what I'm saying? Like as you hear me telling things, like it ain't all like I'm just this big buff guy doing all this shit. You feel what I'm saying? I got my head plucked and you feel what I'm saying?
No, but what I'm saying is, in that term, me knowing how you really moving and grooving like that, I took it like, man, that's something like, oh, this nigga fucks with me. I gotta do this. Like I gotta be good. Like I gotta
show
bust this
something.
nigga ass because I know you really fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? And I respect that because you don't gotta do that shit. You know what I'm saying? And I never will forget. I just always wanted to tell you that. Appreciate that.
Sure enough,
and I got mine dropped the nigga, and I got dropped in the same game. But that ain't got nothing to do with this. So you like I said, you navigating and trying to find your way through this time. What was it that, like you said, you just now getting out of it, but I know during that time, a little bit shortly after that, like I said, it was a little foggy area where I didn't know what you was doing at all. But when I did reconnect with you, you had the phone and the camera in your hand.
Yeah.
And even back then, when it was like Motorola shit, like you was filming a lot of shit and all the time. So it was there. So when did that start?
I'm still on my other YouTube channel now. You heard? Cold TV.
Hey,
you still got the original
you at the
one.
boxes. Where you at
TV.
where you at the boxes?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Who's recording that?
Bro, dog, I don't know, but this was like, I'm talking about like maybe like 2013, 14.
Yeah.
He had the phone, like,
Yeah.
and he was at one of our games.
Yeah.
And I know that was on your channel. So I'm like, I know, like, as soon as I did start seeing you again, that was what I seen. Like, that's what you was on. And if you think about that time, like you was talking about musically, you had Sub-Zero, you had Cocaine City. So that wasn't something that was like foreign to us, knowing the nature of that type of shit. So was that on your mind at that time, or you was just doing what you was doing?
Was definitely a big part. You feel what I'm saying? I definitely watched all of them jump.
We all
Flea market area came out the Smack DVDs, all the Smack DVDs and Come Up DVDs.
Flea, how
What?
I used to flood them.
What?
Oh my God.
That's what I'm saying. Yo, the mixtapes and all that, all of them.
5 for 20.
Yo, something like that. Something like that.
anything for anything.
Everything.
Absolutely.
You know,
Talking down,
get
right.
5 joints. We got everything that's floating.
Nah, for sure.
feel me?
So when would you say kind of Well, again, I mean, I know you had just said just now, like it just kind of like you changing to this day. But when was it any point before then that when you started like recording any of that, did you start thinking about it from that point then at all, or was you just doing what you was doing?
Well, so I was floating. I was lost at that moment. You know what I mean? I was still trying to find my way for real. You feel what I'm saying? Like I said, the hip hop music had an influence on me and had a hold on me. You feel what I'm saying? That turned me into something crazy.
You was
feel what I'm
rapping
saying?
too. You was
I was
rapping.
rapping too.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
when did the rap thing start?
Back in the day, 8, 9, 10, like that goes back to when I met Trey the Kid, honestly.
Right.
Yeah, that goes back to when I long live Trey the Kid once again. We used to record on his grandma. I'm gonna say shoot. Rest in peace, Mr. Mac. Rest in peace, Miss Gladys, his mother and father. You feel what I'm saying? We used to record on his father DJ equipment. You feel what I'm saying? On cassette tapes. You feel what I'm saying? Like he was Diddy and I was Mace.
Everybody
that form emulating everything he was doing. You know what I mean?
Everybody says that about Trey. The nigga been rapping since forever. However long you can be rapping, that's all he ever did and all he's ever tried. Like that's always what he wanted to do.
That's it.
So you was trying to put something together at that point back then, and then it kind of just carried with the soul as you got older. You know what I'm saying? And
you know how you always write little things and you write
like,
your
oh,
own
yeah, that
little
shit hot.
yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, sure enough. But I was around gentlemen that was really doing it like since I'm telling you, I was playing with it doing it at this time. It was gentlemen I was around, like my man Bills, Free True Bills, you feel what I'm saying? He about to come on. This dude been rapping since he been like 6. I can remember him in the classroom beating on the joint. You feel what I'm saying? Always get put out the class. That's all he did was rapping. To this day, he's still one of the hardest rappers I know. To this day that I know. You feel what I'm saying? Sure enough.
Oh man, that's wild as shit, man. That's
him, Kojo, Hot Flow. You know what I mean? They was all doing this back in them times.
Yeah, I remember
they was
that
all
shit.
in that environment.
Yeah, that's so wild, man. That's so wild. Just remember that. That's so funny. I interview a lot of Baltimore niggas, and he be knowing a lot of shit about a lot of shit, blocks and all that. You don't know nothing about that era that Kojo and niggas was rapping and all that. I remember all that shit like so vividly, yo. That shit is so funny to me, yo. Me knowing and me looking at this nigga recording a lot of shit back then, I'm thinking it would be starting back then, but so you pretty much saying that the Code TV that we got now is something that you just stepped into more so recently, like when you just resurged it and you really started going full swing.
That's when I started playing with rap. Like I was starting to rap, you know what I mean, as I got older, you know what I mean? I could say I started rapping as I probably recorded my first song when I was like, it had to be around the year 2007, 8-ish maybe. 7, 8-ish when I started to rap a little bit and play with it, but the Code TV shit ain't really coming to play until I say around 2012 maybe. What's
the origin of the name on Code TV?
And I was sitting there playing spades, bro. We used to always play spades, bro, and I was just sitting there, and I was just like, cash on demand entertainment. That's the code. You feel me? That's the code to do whatever. You feel what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Entertainment. You feel what I'm saying? That's how I came with the code. And from there, as I started recording, like I said, because we was already rapping, you know what I mean? And I told this story before. There's probably like 50 tracks that people will never hear. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Solo my tracks. You feel what I'm saying? That I recorded myself. You feel me? That people will never hear. And that transformed to me getting the camera. You know what I mean? Because we used to have a computer at first. Code TV's Code Cash on Demand Entertainment started as us rappers. I brung it was 30 pounds, G. You know what I mean? That's when Rel came into the fold. You know what I mean? These is guys that was the code. You know what I'm saying? And from there, we used to record on laptops and stuff, you know what I mean? I'm like, you know what I mean? Go this camera, you know what I mean? And from there, that's when the Code TV, that's how it blossomed from there, for real, you know what I mean?
That's one thing. That's one thing.
I was still up the road at that time, though, you know what I mean?
And this was, you said, around 2012?
Yeah, about 2012. I was in Brooklyn at this time though. You know what I mean? I had already left from down the other side. You know what I mean? But yeah, I was out Brooklyn at this time.
Brooklyn.
Yeah.
A little rough.
Remember that?
Yeah. Shit was cool.
Brooklyn.
Yeah. I mean, you know, when you used to the environment,
Right.
things like that, you just is who you is.
Yeah,
you
that's
know
cool,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like you ain't trying to be nothing that you ain't. You know what I mean?
Nah, absolutely
you can
not.
and go to any environment, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Nah, for sure. We was talking about that earlier when you was going to Pasadena. It's like you just can adapt to it. So, especially when you come from the environment, you can adapt to anything. But when you're not, then it's a little bit harder.
Yeah.
Especially when you got in the mix of doing shit. You know what I mean? You know how to stay out of a lot of shit when you really got some shit done. So, the Cold TV thing, man, is something that that's why we doing this joint right now. I really love it because of, again, we were just talking about adaptation, but it's more so the evolution of who you are and how you've become more so keen to who you are as a person, stepping into what you can do well. Because please believe you do this very well. Like, if you look at the guests that you have and you look at the persistence that you show, it's kind of hard to do that in our field, especially with journalism. It's a lot of, because it's opinion based. You get a lot of people that get opinions on what you do, who you should interview, who you shouldn't, and how they should feel. But you step into a different line, into a different type of energy when you interview the people that you interview. What gives you the confidence and the energy to get some of the guests that you do? Because, like I said, they're not the what we call it the pretty guests, like the pretty the super pretty guests. Like, you're going to some of the situations where it's super grimy, but getting real guests, like real legitimate people that's talking about real situations. How do you feel comfortable enough, and what gave you the push to kind of do that?
I love that shit. I love to do it. That's my passion to do it. You feel me? Like, as far as the recording and the editing process and all that type of shit. You know what I mean? I like that shit. So that's what I always wanted to. I always used to watch that shit and just I put it together my way. You know what I mean? Or what's going on. You know what I mean? So I just transformed that shit into, well, you know what I mean? What's going on? Sure enough.
Now, the follow-up question I had to that is, that's now that we done got to that point, looking back on the whole situation, you coming out of the port, you being around a lot of people that turned into what they turned into, uncles, mom, everybody that was around, and you kept a solid rapport with a lot of people, and the communication was open with a lot of people. You come to Pasadena, it's still all good. You know what I'm saying? You was able to navigate a lot of things. Did you realize how well that you can communicate with people, and that was one of your gifts? Or did you ever think about that until recently when you got that channel? Because me thinking about it now is like your ability to be able to communicate with people from all walks of life, whether it's you in the port or you coming to Pasadena when you see what you see. You got the ability to communicate. Did you ever identify with that, and when did you, or if you did at all?
I mean, yeah, I did. I think that it goes back to me saying, like, I like doing what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? So that's just, it comes natural.
Damn sure do.
It just comes natural, bro. Like, we got a lot of things coming up. Cool TV Media, I'm telling you. We got a lot of things coming up. Cool TV
Absolutely.
Media, I'm telling you.
Working.
The ones that you have.
Yeah.
Like the guests that you choose, that I look at, that you pick, and it's like hand chosen. You know what I'm saying? You pick a certain pedigree of a person.
Yeah.
And I look at it like when you even ask your questions, you don't have no fear in your question. it sounds like a solid conversation.
Because I be trying to get what people want to hear for real. It'd be like, you know what I mean? And it'd be crazy though. Now that you say that, bro, I might as well give you the raw with it. You feel me? Behind the scenes, it'd be weird because people make it harder than what excuse me. It gotta be, for real. You see what I'm saying? When you recording things, like you get some of the rappers that's out there, they want they act like they wanna, promote themselves and things like that, and then they don't really want to promote themselves and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just be weird. The vibe be weird though, but you got to weed that type of things out. You know what I'm saying? And you go on to the next thing. That'd be like the hardest part with that shit, for real.
Navigating with the guests.
Yeah, not to say the rappers be weird, but they be weird. You know what I mean?
Nah,
Like,
yeah.
that shit be crazy. Like,
Rappers,
some of that shit, like,
street niggas, a lot of niggas be weird.
yeah.
That's something I've grown to know, just doing a lot of this shit and trying to seek down and get guests to sit down. And a lot of shit get weird once you get to really trying to do it. You know what I'm saying? For sure. But again, go ahead.
But by saying that, also at the same time, by them not wanting to, work, that blossom and turned me to work with other people in other walks of life. You feel what I'm saying? So that kind of opened the door for other things for
Right.
me being able to work with other people. You feel what I'm saying? So, shit, I don't know, bro. That shit, yeah.
Nah, I mean, no, you definitely know. You explained it
Yeah.
very thoroughly. I mean,
Yeah.
again, and I just wanted to make sure I highlighted that because I didn't know, and I don't know if anybody told you that. Like, the ability to be able to stretch across different platforms, like when you telling your story, the little Jimmy, that shit right there was like something that's transferable across a lot of different places. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
then you go and interview somebody in the trenches at the same capacity with the same energy, and it's well respected, and that's real journalism. Like, I want you to understand. You know what I'm saying? I want you to know that, and that's
Sure enough.
something I want you to keep doing. And that's what leads me to the next question. What's the furthest direction, or what's the next step that you got for Code TV?
Next step is I want to bring the old feeling back. That old, like you was just bringing up the smack, the cocaine cities and all that. I want to kind of start bringing that. I can't give away my recipe. Like
No,
that.
no,
Right,
yeah,
right,
no,
right,
for sure,
right.
yeah.
But I want to bring some shit back and throw my twist with some things. You know what I mean? Throw my spin on it and see what it do. You know, like that's what type of things I got going up. I don't really want to throw my, you know what I'm saying, my peoples out there yet. But I will say this. Shout out to Small City Big Dreams. You feel what I'm saying? Implementing at in Annapolis that's growing right now. You feel what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Velly and everybody that's in that situation. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it's about to go down. I got some things working with them behind the scenes. We're gonna bring a little documentary thing out. You know what I mean? And really show and bring Annapolis to the light. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
Bring another little twist to it. You feel me? Yeah.
So a couple quick roundup questions. I ain't hold you too much longer. Who has been your favorite guest so far on your podcast? Who's been your favorite interview so far that you've personally done so far?
I might have to say the London store.
I've seen that one.
Yeah, that London story joint. For y'all that didn't tap into
That's
that London
definitely
story, man,
I'm
go
gonna
to
put-
Code
That's a
TV
great
Media.
story.
I'm putting the
Sure
link on
enough,
it.
man. And
Perseverance,
definitely
toughness.
put that link on.
I'm gonna
For
put the link on
sure.
it.
Tap in on that London story, man. We hitting like three and a half K views on the YouTube tip. So yeah, sure enough.
I'm gonna throw that on there.
It's blossoming, sure enough. Yeah. That's like that might be the highest view joint on my joint. You know what I mean?
It's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a bet. I just wanted to make sure. I just wanted to ask that on a personal note.
So for the people out there wanting to know, how can they get on Code TV? Are you the
Tap
type?
in.
Are you the type of
man,
person to
YouTube
just?
at Code TV _Eazy. That's all you got to do. Hit me in the DM. You know what I mean? However you want to do. Leave a comment. However you want to do it. Holler at me. You feel me?
Nah, for
We
sure.
work something out. Make
I'm
something
gonna
happen.
make sure I put all that on the underscore right here. Make sure you put the
Yeah.
ad on there. Say it one more time so they know what it is.
At Code TV _Eazy.
Nah, that's what it is, man. Anything else? There's anything else you wanted to drop on the people before we get out of here, yo?
Man, just stay tuned. 2023. I got some tricks in my bag, man. We ready to pull a rabbit out the hat on y'all.
I'm
enough.
definitely gonna be tuned in. Like I said, man, I can't say it enough how proud I am of how you navigate and evolve to this shit that you're doing right now, man. It's
Appreciate it, bro.
it's
Sure
remarkable to see,
I
bro.
like what you doing though. You know
Nah,
what I
you
mean?
didn't. What
doing
Cam?
what you
What Cam
doing,
say?
bro.
You know, I'ma eat regardless. But no, so all jokes aside, really love what you're doing. Like, I ain't gonna put it on me at all. I'm just gonna keep it on you right now. You doing a remarkable job. Keep it up. Persistence pays. And we all proud of you. Everybody sitting in this room right now, watching this right now, we all proud of your evolution and you keeping your head on straight and doing what the hell you gotta do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So keep doing that. Be fearless in all your questions and your journalism. Be respected as a journalist, because that's what you're stepping into. You know what I'm saying? So don't think nothing different. You is what you is on the inside, but now we stepping into something else.
Yes,
So
sir.
be respected
Yes,
as
sir.
that and keep doing what you're doing. And I'm proud of you. I love you, man. And
Appreciate you, bro.
so happy that you came on here. And I want you to come back as we talk, because we're going, this is what I got an idea of. I want you to come on here and talk. We're going to talk about current hip hop shit. We're going to talk about current beefs. And I got somebody we can line up with on the hip hop tip. We can talk about that shit all day. You know what I'm saying? On the local tip or whatever. So
Yeah.
just want to make sure we do that. But again, good shit. Appreciate you for coming through. You and Trey, again, y'all niggas been laughing the whole time. Glad we ain't put the shit on here beforehand, so we good to go. But man, again, thank you, and I appreciate you for coming through the Gifted Podcast, bro.
Stack and a strap will still get you clapped.
Facts. And we
Cool
go
TV Media.
Code TV Media. Was it _Eazy?
Yeah, _Eazy.
Code TV Media _Eazy. We out of here. Appreciate y'all.